And so folks, here we go again. New rule set, 152 custom private pack. And I want to quickly talk through the rules we're going to play by for this this run through of Minecraft. We've got a whole lot of new mods. We'll display that in a moment. This is the rules I want to play by in this list. And so we're going to start out with houses. Houses must be 16 by 12 by 10 because the name of this build is, or playthrough is going the distance. So we're taking a little pun on the measurements and saying our houses are going to be pints by inches by centimeters. Any which way we want to do it. It could be 16 tall, it could be 16 wide, it could be 16 deep. Whatever makes sense, whatever looks right. The tough rule here is we can have maximum one house per biome. Neighboring houses must be on a different plane. That plane is defined as one of the following: the sky plane, the cave plane, or the ground plane. And that plane is our y-axis and the base of our house in that biome. So we're going to have sky plane houses then have a base at a y coordinate of 238. If you want to stare at these rules again, you can pause the stream and read them. So I'm going to quickly go through it. Or you can tune into the live stream and people explain what he's doing. Or what I'm doing. The houses are to be used for machinery mechanics and not necessarily infrastructure mechanics. Well, you're going to ask, what do I mean by that? So an infrastructure mechanic is something like applied energistics, where that is more of a, hey, let's help you to get your items around and about. It could be a buildcraft type of system to flow items if I'm so inclined. Anything like that. The mod mechanics, on the other hand, are things like apiaries and thermal expansion machines and all those kind of nifty little gadgets we all love to play with. Solar panels might be kind of the odd exception here. Don't know, because those kind of tend to sit on top of the house, but we'll work with it and go as we go. The next thing I want to talk about here is the railcraft connectivity, because you might be saying to yourself, wow, these houses are going to take ages to get to. Okay? And you're right, they will. What needs to happen here is there must be a railcraft connectivity system in place through the whole world as we go. There can be a railcraft station attached to each house. That is not going to be part of the house infrastructure limit. That'll be like think of it like a front porch or a walkway out to the rail station kind of setup. As part of that railcraft connectivity, so it'll look like, think of a tram system you see in your local town, neighborhood, city. In the context of that, we're going to have a applied energistics line. We're going to have a redstone energy conduit line. Any of our infrastructure mechanics should be able to flow through and along this line. So we'll have to work on how we build that setup. So right away, you're going to be saying to yourself, man, we got to get railcraft going early. I agree. So the additional rules I've put in place because they're to make it more challenging and to even enable the setup a little bit quicker is, and some other stuff, you know, for grins. Houses can be built but not populated with mod mechanics until, oh, that's supposed to be under there. They're connected via the railcraft transport system. So in other words, you can go build the house to figure out where you want to lay it out, and then you got to come backwards and build your railcraft transportation system. The one exception I have to this rule is that the first 3 houses can be built and populated with mechanics, although they have to be 3 biomes apart. So that way we do have some room for storage. We do have some room for machinery early on because we're going to need that to get going. If we try to play in the open world, we'll probably just die horribly and end quickly. The 4th additional rule I have, because this is kind of a going the distance and we got to run around and do stuff at crazy lengths, is we want to limit the amount of teleportation we have. We want to have a max of one type of one teleportation link of each type. So that by that I mean I can have one energy tesseract, one liquid tesseract, one ender chest. If you remember my last playthrough, we had ender chests everywhere. I had bagception going on. So we got to be kind of careful about that. And then the last thing we want to talk to here is what I'm calling the victory conditions. So when we get to this point in the world, and we've achieved at least these three things, we're pretty much at the victory stage. The first and foremost and kind of most obvious in many of these cases is that you get to a creative mode-like scenario. Meaning you got all the resources you could ever use and then some, and you don't have to go harvest for anything. You pretty much have unlimited resources. All the mods must have a home as another victory condition. So we'll scroll through that in a minute, and you guys can pause the YouTube video as you go to see the different mods I have in place, but there's something like 60 of them. Each one of those mod mechanics must have its own house, so we will probably be spanning like 20 to 30 biomes, I'm imagining. And then lastly, we want to make sure we have a world tour for our final video. So as we go through all our different houses we build along the way, we want a railcraft cart ride of some sort that takes us around and just demos all the beauty, destruction, everything else we have in the overworld. So the last thing I want to do for this video cut here is go over the list of mods we have in place. That list of mods is right here, and I'm going to scroll kind of slowly for you guys so you can see what I have in place. Feel free to pause the video if you want and stop and read them. Twitch TV IRC mod is a mod I use explicitly for being able to communicate with my live stream more easily. So stop by the live stream, twitch.tv/recanem. Link will be in the description below. And you can see all the different stuff we've got in here. A lot of things I'm excited for. The latest applied energistics, bibliocraft, sounds cool. I have Ars Magica in here. That sounds really cool. And all kinds of other things. So, Greg Tech. Greg Tech is a big one in the stream. Thought it would be fun if I tried it in hard mode. So I think we've got it configured that way, where everything is in the most difficult build setting possible. So let's see what happens. And as you can see, you could go through the rest of the mods here. I'm not going to call them all. Pause the stream as we go. Or pause the YouTube video and take a look if you want. And that's where we're at. Very cool.